What's going on, everybody? It's Josh here from Dark Horse Tackle, and we have a very special unboxing for you today. We've got the Dark Horse Tackle twofer for you. We've got October and we've got November. I am going to make this as quick as possible, so let's get into it. Long time no see, by the way. Hope everybody's doing all right. Hope everybody's catching a ton of fish, and I hope you all are supporting the best small businesses here in the United States, providing you with some awesome fishing gear. Let's open it up. First things first, let's get into October. We had the pleasure of meeting one of my favorite fishermen that I've met this year, Ryan Parker, who is on the front of this card. He was the Kayak Adventure Series Angler of the Year. The man absolutely dominated the tournament trail. Very open-minded fisherman, very smart fisherman, knows how to move on the fly, knows how to catch big fish. But let's dive into this. First thing is first, we have to talk about a crazy promotion that we have going on right now. We have a free Cornerstone crankbait that will be put into any order if you place an order over $50. I have the lipless crankbait right here. This is one of my favorite lipless crankbaits to throw. Got a very nice fall rate, very nice tight wobble. You can burn it, you can yo-yo it, you can jig it. You can do everything with that bait that you can every single lipless. There's also some square bills, 1.5s and 2.5s with that fantastic Cornerstone finish. And as always, owner hooks and split rings. You don't even have to change the hooks out. You got to do nothing. They are ready to go out of the box. Very high quality baits. Moving on, the small business of the month is our good friend Cliff Pace's company, Woodbait Country. What Woodbait Country is a balsa and wood crankbait specific website exclusively selling these hand-carved, hand-painted baits. Balsa is one of the best materials to use for crankbaits, gives you a completely different action, very high rising crankbait, very quick rising, very good for, you know, a balsa square bill right about now. Very good to be throwing. We've also got the Source Crate Fix right here on the QR code from September. So sorry about that to our good friends at Source Crate and to our subscribers. And on the back, as always, we have the list of baits. We are also here at the Beaver River, and I'm telling you what, we have been smashing them on these baits over the past couple of months. We've been very busy just fishing, throwing these baits, testing, quality control. You know how we do it here. I want to start off with a twofer. Again, this is a theme. I hope you get it. Twofers today. We have got H&H Custom Baits back in a Dark Horse Tackle box with his micro-bladed jig. This is the Koosh Ball micro-bladed jig in a black and blue. We've got a hand-tied bladed jig, by the way, with a finesse cut, teeny tiny little blade. Tons of tight vibration from this bait. And to pair it up, guess what? We've got a guppy from H&H as well. Let me show you what this looks like paired up real quick. And I'm telling you what, this action is so crazy. It's a very fun bait to throw. It's a very fun bite to get. They really do not like this bait in the best way possible. They crush it. Absolutely crush it. This swim bait right here is perfected for this bait. Not too big, not too small, perfect cut. Thank you so much, H&H, for these baits. These are incredible. Very quality bait. And again, just you can tell when you hold it the amount of work that goes into that bait. So thank you, H&H. Moving on, we've got a brand new company, Wise Guys Tackle out of Florida. This is the 4-inch Bada Bing. And if you can tell by the packaging here, there's a bit of a theme. There's a bit of a theme, huh? Meh. You know, I wish I had a stogie right now, big old cigar, to talk to you about this 4-inch Bada Bing. This is a perfect shad imitation for that early to late fall bite. You can throw this on a little jig head. You can throw like a 2 to 3/0 Texas rig hook on it and fish it weightless, a little belly weight hook, and, you know, have that good fall rate. It makes a great trailer. It really does do some nice work on the back of that H&H
Badass
Micro.
on a drop shot.
Bingo, drop shot. This is a great drop shot bait. And listen, we don't talk enough about the drop shot here at Dark Horse Tackle. The drop shot is a fantastic year-round bait. And speaking of drop shot baits, you've got two of them. Again, this is the video of the twofers. The Guppy makes a fantastic drop shot bait. Little swim baits and little jerk baits make great drop shot baits. Real quick, here is a tackle tip from yours truly. The less action you have on the bait, the simpler the bait, correct? This shad style bait. That is where you want to apply action on the drop shot. With a bait like a swim bait on a drop shot, what you want to do is make bomb casts, and you can just lift your rod tip and bring it back to you, or you can slowly reel it in, just like you would a swim bait. But you don't have a weight connecting that head, so that weight is dragging that bait down, and you're staying in contact with the bottom without the bait, digging at the bottom. It's a very unique presentation, but it's an incredibly effective presentation. So don't be afraid to throw that guppy on a drop shot. Moving on. Another twofer? Holy moly. We've got two hard baits. Yep, two hard baits from our good friend Pete over at Stoneman. We have got the 4.5-inch Glide with a few colors, custom painted by Pete at Stoneman. And we've got the Sidestep, a 3-inch slow sinking walking style bait. Now, I don't know if you would call it walking. If it's under the water, maybe crawling. Wouldn't call it crawling either. Or would you call it sidestepping? Because that's the name of the bait. Left, right, up, down. This bait has a ton of action. We have given you a split ring as an option to tie onto the bait, which gives it a bit more of an erratic action. Think of it as a loop knot, where you can get more side to side, up and down, left to right. Now, directly applying a knot to this bait will slow the action down, but it still works just as good. It's just a different presentation. Think of this as a weightless stick worm with two treble hooks, one of which is hand tied by Wager Baits. Look at that. A little flash, huh? You know what I mean? If this paint job's not going to get them, the flash is going to get them. And as always, Vector Tornado trebles. But another tip for you real quick, make a bomb cast with this bait and work it like you would a weightless stick worm or a fluke style bait. You can give it, little taps, tap, 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 let it sink, tap, tap, tap. What that bait's going to do is it's going to dart up like a dying bait fish and then just slowly. And if you give it a little downward tap or a little left to right tap, like you would on your fluke style baits, you're going to get more side to side action. This bait, the action is what you make it. You can do a ton of stuff with this bait. It is a fantastic year-round bait solely because of the way that you can control it in the water. You can work it high in the water column, suspend it in the water column, medium to low, and you can work it on the bottom. Also, when the spawn comes, this is a crazy bait for those fish that like to slap at your baits that you can't get a hook in. You got two treble hooks on that thing. They're going to get one of them in there. Next up with the 4.5-inch Glide. This is a perfect introduction to glide bait fishing. You can work this bait right out of the package, no tuning necessary. Some glide baits are a little scary, especially the big ones. You look at a 7 to 8-inch bait and you're just like, what am I going to put this on? You can run this on any kind of conventional tackle. You can make a bomb cast with it and slowly reel it. It's just gonna glide. It's gonna make a little S shape. You can add some taps to it, get the bait to jolt up or get the bait to jolt down. It is a slow sinking bait, not too fast, but it does sink probably about a foot per second. And again, these paint jobs from Pete are absolutely incredible. Very, very fishy patterns on these baits. Each bait had 3 patterns on it. Let us know in the comments which ones you got. And if you're missing one or you see one that you like, be sure to check out darkhorsetackle.com and our bait shop. They'll be up here in a few days. Again, Vector Tornado trebles on that. And that wraps up the October box. We appreciate you all for ordering the October box. And just like that, everybody, it's November. Let's dig into the box, shall we? First things first, Andrew Hayes, 5 years, Tackle Talk podcast. This guy's been a friend of mine personally and a friend of the business for many years. I just want to congratulate Andrew. We want to congratulate Andrew on 5 years of success, and we look forward to 5 more. Heck, how about infinity more years? Also, did I mention that if you spend more than $50 on our website, you get a free crankbait from Cornerstone? Custom baits? Just letting you know. So let's dive into the brochure. We've got Hook a Pair for the holidays. What's that supposed to mean? Well, what it means is we're doing a Black Friday deal. And the Black Friday deal is buy one, get one 25% off from November 28th to December 2nd. What this means is if you buy 10 items from our shop, 5 of those items will be 25% off. And if I go to the second page of this bifold, I actually have to start digging out some baits because we have an absolute crazy rig here. Let's take a trip down south real quick and go to Alabama because Bass Dope has blessed us with a 3-wire RIP baby A-rig. And once I dig this thing out of this bag, and again, the packaging from this guy was just exceptional, honestly. Just, this is all you need. Just a little paper tag and a plastic bag. And look at that. We've got ourselves a baby chandelier. We've got 2 longer arms and 1 shorter arm. And what we've got in this brochure here is rules and regulations per state. Now, we at Dark Horse Tackle want to inform you that we are not responsible for you getting in any trouble for how you decide to rig this baby A-rig. We encourage you to look up the regulations not only in your state, but based on the body of water that you're fishing. States have regulations, bodies of water sometimes have their own regulations. That is completely out of our control. Now with this A-rig, you're going to get 3 Smack swim bait jig heads. And this is my personal favorite. I am a huge fan of an unpainted jig head, or as Bass Dope likes to call it, Manhattan Silver. Fantastic. Jazzy even. Very eloquent name, but these are very, very stout hooks. They are ready for the swim bait pairing that we have given you, and that is Josh's personal favorite, the Bitters Little Swimmer. The Bitters Little Swimmer is my favorite teeny tiny paddle tail swim bait. This bag is actually out of my personal collection. This is not going to be featured in the box. This is one of my favorite colors for any kind of like black and blue swim jig or a black and blue bladed jig. This is the black grape with blue glitter. It is an absolutely insane color, but we're talking about the profile of this bait. This is a 3 to 3.5 inch little swimmer. It's got a little taper here towards the back end. Fat body. You can put plenty of hook on this body all the way until about right there. Basically 75 to 80% of that body is able to be hooked. I like throwing it on a basic jig head, again, on a swim jig, on the back of a spinner bait, on the back of a bladed jig. Also, Jigmaster's Micro Buzz and the Brazala Weed Whacker. Great little trailer for that. You're also going to notice with your A-rig, your jig heads, and your little swimmers, we have sent you a little bag of optional tackle. And what we have here is we have 2 what I like to call hitchhikers. These little hitchhikers are a spring clip that once I dig out of this bag, I will show you how to rig it on to the swim bait itself. So it is a little spring with a clip, and we have also sent you 3 snaps that you can snap on to this A-rig right here. Because there are split rings, you can just snap that right there. If you live in a state that requires hitchhikers or has a hook limitation, this is what it should look like when it's rigged up. You just have a little bit of that hitchhiker out, and it's going to connect to that split ring. I also highly recommend doing a split ring to jig head direct connection, but we sent you those snaps just in case you don't have any split ring pliers. The split ring pliers will help a better connection for those swim bait heads, and all in all, just keep that rig a little bit compact. Personally, I like using a snap just because I keep about 1 million jig heads on my boat or in my kayak, and I am constantly switching colors of little swimmers because let's face it, they are $3.99 and they will be on the website. Lastly, another beautiful pairing. This is not a twofer, this is two separate companies, but it is a beautiful pairing. A jig and a trailer combo, but let's talk about the jig real quick. It's not even on Martin's website yet. This is a bait drop from Dark Horse Tackle via Martin's Custom Baits. This is the Nomadic XL Finesse Jig, and that owner deep throat hook is stuck into my thumb. But we've got two custom colors in trailers from, you just saw them in October, H&H Custom Baits sent us two custom colors. This is the Copper Crawl. It is a green pumpkin and black with copper flake, and it pairs up perfectly with any brown, black, green pumpkin, a little bit of orange jig that you would have gotten in your box or jig that you have at home. But this is what it looks like paired up. The H&H Koosh Crawl. This is the Magic Crawl color. This is a green pumpkin with some blue, and it's a little swirled. Paired up with a Magic Crawl, Nomadic XL Finesse Jig. Now, wintertime's a great time to throw a jig. Late fall's a great time to throw a jig. What I recommend for a lot of people is less is more. I like a heavy head on my jig with very light skirting. We've got plenty of jigs on our shop that do offer a very finesse presentation. And we've got one in this box that offers a very finesse presentation. But this jig will be great on any river, pond, lake, canal that you decide to fish throughout the entire year. And that wraps up the November box. An Alabama rig with some swim baits and some swim bait heads, it's gonna catch you a ton of fish. All you've got to do is not be scared. Go out there and throw it. That's what we do here at Dark Horse Tackle. We're giving you presentations, we're giving you ideologies, we're giving you some stuff to, we're giving you a box to step outside of the box. And with that being said, everybody check out our website, check out the brands that we put into the box. And also, be on the lookout for something aggressively average, but also incredibly cool in the month of December. Have a good one, everybody.
Certainly not the biggest. Certainly not. But don't underestimate a craw imitator when it gets cold outside. We were where we wanted to be with the box as far as the A rig and the Bitters Little Swimmers, the Martin's jig, the jig heads from Bass Dope to go along with it, and that excellent chunk style trailer from H&H. The only problem was the retail value just quite wasn't there. So we threw in some Jaboom beaver balls baits for you. Don't underestimate a craw imitator when it gets cold outside. Those craws are still moving around in there, and the fish are still eating them. So enjoy your beaver balls.